Welcome, everybody. All right, we're going to be talking about essential oils and pets, and I have Rudy in the house, so we'll see how long he's going to stay here. Currently, he is fascinated with whatever Stella is doing. I don't know what she is doing. Rudy, ignore your sister. All right, live video, all the fun in working with animals. So, all right, for those of you who are here live, welcome, welcome. Thank you for telling me where you're from. Look at that, Texas, Minnesota, British Columbia, Illinois. All right. So yeah, tell me where you're from. And of course, I'm recording this. So anybody who's watching the recording, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Virginia. I used to live in Virginia. All right, welcome. All right, I hear Dobby meowing. He's delivering us a toy. Welcome to my world with my chief feline officers. You probably can't hear him. He is meowing so loud right now. I'm gonna try not to laugh. Oh my gosh. Dobby always delivers a toy when I'm teaching a class, and Rudy sits on the back of the chair. It's what we do. All right. Welcome to the Phillips household of felines. All right. So what I am going to talk about today is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease in relation to animals. What I'm going to do is share with you 10 years of specific experience, training, education, hands-on work that I have done with a lot of animals. And my number one recommendation is that you need to know why you are using an oil and for what you're using it for before you use it. And I like to empower people to do your own research. So what Dobby just delivered a toy. I wish I could turn the camera and show you all, but he just delivered you all a toy and has been meowing and howling at the top of his lungs. So there you go. That's a gift. But I like to empower people to do their own research because we cannot talk about essential oils when it comes to diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease, but you can do whatever you need to do for your pets. Okay, this is why knowledge is power. All right, so about me. So I have been an attorney for 28 years, and that time has been spent in the criminal justice field, focusing on criminal prosecution and specializing in animal abuse and how animal abuse links to family violence. That is still one of my specialties. And I travel around the globe and teach at conferences. I'm actually in the process of booking travel to Portugal this summer to teach at a conference. Never been there. Very excited. So I have spent over 20 years as a shelter volunteer, a rescue foster mom, doing legislative advocacy. And I am also the founder and CEO of Sheltering Animals and Families Together, which is an organization, a concept that I created to help domestic violence shelters build on-site pet kennels. So I was the one that created the concept to lead that in the domestic violence world. And at this point, there's over 300 shelters in 6 countries. So that is definitely a movement that is picking up speed. I am also the owner of Manifested Harmony, which is going into its 12th anniversary, and that is my healing and wellness business that I started when I was a full-time attorney, because everything that I learned, I wanted to teach other people. So I have about, 7 certifications in energy healing, coaching, health coaching, that sort of thing. And I love to teach people because knowledge is power. I'm also an award-winning book author. I'm a public speaker. I'm a master energy healer and teacher, and I'm a very interesting blend of a lot of different things. So I've also been teaching about essential oils for 10 years, focusing a lot on animals. And that is entirely why I got involved in essential oils, was because of my work with animals. And I wanted to add that as one of my tools in my toolkit. So, all right. So I'm going to be talking about Young Living oils. If you use another brand, I will invite you to take a look at Young Living, because how I'm going to describe using oils, you likely won't be able to use a different brand in the way that I'm going to talk about them. Okay. And I'll get more into that. I've been invited by Young Living on 3 occasions to speak on their stage about oils for pets, especially my work with shelter animals and rescue animals and abused and neglected animals. So there's a conference coming up this September, and I believe it's going to be at the Idaho Farm. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'm hoping I will be a speaker at that, but they are still kind of putting the details together. I am also the author of The Oily Pet and The Oily Crystal. So if you haven't gotten your copy of The Oily Pet, please use coupon code ZOOM to get 10% off. I will tell you, as of this taping, March 1st, 2023, I am down to, I just realized, a bare minimum of books. I think I literally have 1 Oily Crystal book left, and probably only about 15 Oily Pets. So sometime next week, I got to get an order placed. So if you place an order and get an email from me saying, hey, there's going to be a little delay, you're going to get one fresh off the press, and they're all going to have new covers, but it's same information in them. So anyway, that is there, because I'm not going to go through the Oily Pet book. You can get the book, you can get the foundational details. I want to get to some very precise issues and some things that I literally can't cover in the book. So, you know, these are my teachers. So that's Stella, Rudy, and Dobby. These are my chief feline officers. And all of my cats that I have had have really taught me how to use essential oils safely with pets. All the rescues that I have worked with, including donkeys and cows and a flock of peacocks I worked with the other month. They have taught me more than any book or anything ever could. And so that's what I encourage you to do, is to let them teach you, because they will tell you what to do and what not to do. You just have to listen and pay attention and not force what you want on an animal. I mean, that's the big thing that I teach in my energy healing classes. I just finished teaching crystal healing for animals. And the big thing is what we want does not dominate what the animal wants. You have to get consent. I'm actually going to show you a couple of videos of how to do that. They are your partner in this. You know, just like you wouldn't go to your family member or friend or coworker and apply oils to them or stick an oil in their face. We don't do that with animals. Okay, so you have to learn how to read them and get their consent. So, all right, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Social media, for better or for worse. One scary story makes the rounds, and people start to freak out and make blanket statements. And yes, there are sad stories floating around social media. Are they true? I don't know. I literally don't know. First piece of advice, be careful about jumping in with a response, and please do not guilt them that they should have used Young Living to avoid whatever outcome they say has happened. Hold on, there's something here in the chat. Hold on, everybody. Oh, it's the agenda. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for the animal conference. So my first piece of advice, do not jump in with a response. Never guilt them that they should have used Young Living. It just makes Young Living look bad. Okay, people don't know, and the cats are off. People don't know what they don't know, and we can't guilt them about it. But here's the thing about these posts. You know, we see posts that say essential oils made my dog sick, or essential oils killed my cat, or, you know, you can't use citrus oils and eucalyptus oils, they're harmful to pets. I rarely, if ever, see attribution on those graphics or those stories. They've been passed around so much, nobody knows who actually created them. If they are true, we don't know the backstory. We don't know if or how many health issues the pet already had. I mean, the pet could be a 23-year-old cat, could be an 18-year-old dog. Okay, we don't know. We don't know what food that they were eating. We don't know if they had toxic pet toys. We don't know how many toxins were in the home. You know, were they burning candles? Did they have plug-ins? Were they using toxic sprays and aerosols and toxic cleaners? We don't know. All of that comes into play when it comes to the health of animals. We don't know what essential oils they used. I've never seen a post where they identify the brand, which makes me highly suspicious that it's a planted story that isn't real, because they never identify the brand. Because if it's a fake story and they identify a brand, they're going to get sued for slander and libel. So when they don't identify a brand, red flag goes up. And that's why I just don't respond. You know, a lot of people tag me in these posts. I don't respond because red flags are going up that it's probably not a real post. But even if they identify what essential oils they use, like they may say, oh, I use lemon, but they never tell you the brand. We don't know how they use the essential oils, okay? Remember that people don't know what they don't know. So that's the big elephant in the room. So I know a lot of people are freaked out about essential oils, but in the grand scheme of toxins in our world, the thing that we should be worried the least about is essential oils. We should be worried more about the cleaners in our homes, the candles that are being burned, the aerosols that are being sprayed, you know, the spray that you can spray on a couch or a carpet to eliminate odors. I'd be more freaked out about that than I ever would about the crappiest, most adulterated essential oil. I'd be more worried about that spray. So it's keeping toxins in perspective and realizing our homes are toxic. The air in the average home is far more toxic than the outdoor air. So that's the elephant in the room. There's a lot more to the backstory. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to go through kind of 5 of the main questions that I get when it comes to essential oils for animals. And the first one that I get is, why do you only recommend Young Living? You're trying to sell something. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? It works. It's worked for 10 years on my cats. Why wouldn't I want you to buy something from a company that has safe products for your pets? Why wouldn't I want that? Why wouldn't I want you to buy healthy food or this book, you know, that I love, or go to this restaurant that I think is fantastic, or watch this movie? People get so hung up over that you're trying to sell to me. And so I just hit them like a bullseye right between the eyes. And I'm like, of course I am, because you're sold to every day. And why wouldn't you want to know about a safe, healthy product? Okay. So, but here's the thing. In the Oily Pet book, I actually give you a test to identify whether the brand that you're using is safe. So let me give you kind of a preview of that. So ethically, I can only recommend Young Living because I've done the research. So as an attorney, ethically, I can only recommend Young Living. Young Living promotes their oils for pets. It's on their website. It's in their blog. They are public about it. They have an entire line of products for pets. They were the first company to do this. They were the first company to hold an animals and essential oils conference. The books that have been written about essential oils and pets all relate to Young Living, even if Young Living trademarked blends are not in there. Like in my book, I have to honor their trademark, so I don't recommend any blends. I can talk about lavender and frankincense and peppermint, but I can't talk about peace and calming or valor, okay? But the books are written about Young Living oils. And why I ethically only recommend Young Living is because of seed to seal. It's not just a label. It is entirely why our oils are safe, why our tea tree can be used with animals, but yet other tea tree has been harmful. This is what makes our oils safe, especially for cats. And it's because we grow the botanicals. All of our oils come from our farms and our partner farms. We harvest properly and we distill properly. Let me tell you something about that. So during the distillation process, where you take, the lavender buds and you stick them in the cooker and you put the little pressure lid on and you're getting the oils out, too many distillers are doing one of two things. Number one, they distill for a short time period and they don't get all the constituents out. Okay, essential oils are made up of a variety of constituents. Think of it as parts and pieces to a puzzle. So you got a puzzle to put together during the distillation process. Most distillers give you half or less of the puzzle. What happens is that the end product is not balanced because puzzle pieces are missing. You can't look at that puzzle and say, oh, it's lavender. Parts and pieces are missing. So, for example, when dealing with a high phenol oil, high phenol means it really smells like cinnamon, clove, oregano. If the distiller takes shortcuts, does a short distillation so that they can sell a cheaper oil, they can miss the constituents, the parts and pieces that come out at the end of the distillation process. They cut it short to be cheap. Well, they cut out the parts and pieces that actually balance the oil to make it safe. Because when all the parts and pieces come out, the essential oil is self-balancing. It's self-regulating. It's what we call bioavailable. It's fully active. You got the whole puzzle, okay? That's what makes it safe for pets. Young Living does the whole process. If it takes days to coax that oil out, it takes days. Okay, it is what it is. And every botanical is different. So that's number one. Number two, some distillers actually distill the plant too many times. They do a second distillation, which makes it weaker and impacts that bioavailability. Okay, so that puzzle is very cloudy. You can't read it. It's not clear because all the parts and pieces are not there. So Young Living fully distills, which allows for the balancing of those constituents coming out. And an oil can self-regulate if all the parts and pieces are there. That's what allows us to use citrus oils, tea tree, oregano, cinnamon, clove, all of those no-nos that you see on social media. We can use them. But other brands, you can't. You can't, because even if you were to ask them about the process, chances are another brand isn't doing a seed to seal. They didn't plant, they didn't grow, they didn't harvest, and they didn't distill. So they don't know. They don't know. Young Living knows, okay? And then the last thing is what is on the label is what's in the bottle. There's no adulteration. Look at labels of other companies. when I teach an in-person class, I love to pass around a bottle of an organic lemon essential oil where right on the label it says you can't ingest it. First of all, since when can't you ingest lemon, especially organic lemon oil? That labeler, that bottle is telling us something else is in the bottle. They don't have to tell you what it is. But at least the label's honest and they're telling you. So these oils shouldn't be anywhere around pets. Shouldn't be diffusing them, shouldn't be using them with them. And I'm a big believer as an attorney, if a company does not promote their product to be used in a certain way, don't do it. You're not going to use an adult laxative product on a newborn baby. If you go to an adult laxative product, they're probably going to exclude babies, or they're just not going to mention babies. So don't give it to a baby. So if a company does not mention pets, it's better to be safe than sorry, because you do have an option in Young Living. That's the thing. People talk about other brands. Oh, they're so pure and they're organic and they're this, that, and the other thing. Well, I go to the website, I type in the word pet and animal in the search bar and nothing comes up. And it's like, okay, so that company is telling me that they're not recommending their oils around animals. So that's why I stay with a company that does. Okay. That's why I recommend Young Living. All right. Number 2. Will oils kill my cat? Well, it depends on the brand. And again, this is where people say to me, Allie, is it safe to use lemon oil around my cat? And it's like, it's never about the single oil, ever. It's about the brand, like what I just talked about. That's how we need to be thinking. So Stella and Rudy here are like, really? This again? Have you not listened to my mom? So let me explain why other brands can be harmful. Cats are deficient in the cytochrome P450 liver metabolism pathway, and that is what helps the liver to metabolize and excrete compounds, including medications, toxins, and essential oils. They are deficient, not missing the pathway. Okay, I have gotten into more rumbles with animal professionals on that word. I'm like, they're deficient. It's not absent. So stop saying that cats can't metabolize essential oils, because I have cats. My cat Rudy, he's got 10 years of essential oils in him and his liver values are awesome. Don't tell me that he can't, because I have the lab results. So let's be really clear about that. And I find that animal professionals are not educated in essential oils, so they probably shouldn't be posting or talking about them, including animal protection organizations. There are some national organizations that put out a chart, that go to veterinary clinics that say, here are the top 10 toxins for pets, and they list essential oils. Well, I actually collaborate with many of those organizations. And when I ask their senior vice presidents, who on your staff is skilled, trained, and educated in essential oils, they have no one. And I'm like, then maybe you ought not be saying that, or at least you should put a qualifier next to it. So this cytochrome P50 pathway is unique to felines, and it's why people are nervous about using oils around cats. I get it. I get it. When I first started Googling essential oils and pets, I was horrified. And that's when I found Young Living. So I would highly recommend never, ever Google essential oils and pets, because you're going to go down a rabbit hole and you're going to waste a whole lot of time on information that is not relevant to Young Living oils. So like I said, some people think that cats cannot excrete the oils, but there was a study done in 2017 that found that cats excrete differently. Cats excrete oils out of their liver that is more consistent with how plants excrete essential oils. Did you know that plants excrete essential oils? They do. And cats follow the same pathway. So of course, cats have to be different. You know, they can't be like a dog. They can't be like a rabbit. They have to be unique and different. And so what it ends up being is slower elimination that can result in buildup. And this is where less is more, okay? You know, the amount of drops that people are putting in their diffusers is excessive, okay? Do half of what the manufacturer actually says. If you have the Desert Mist diffuser, it says 8 to 10 drops, 4. That's really all you need, unless you're literally filling a room that's like 1,000 square feet. Okay. If it's for your home, less is more. Now, you know, we give cats medication, and obviously they can excrete that through their liver. You know, our cats are surrounded by toxins like we are, and they can pass that out of their system, but it can build up. You know, before we all learned about having a non-toxic lifestyle, we all had toxins in our home. We all did. I was the queen of the candles and the plugins until I knew better. So it takes a lot to hurt a cat. And a lot of this comes down to common sense. And too many people think that they can use a store-bought adulterated oil in the way that we use Young Living oils. That's why I said at the beginning, what I'm going to talk about, you cannot use with any other brand. That is my legal disclaimer. If you use another brand in the way I'm going to talk about it, that's on you, and you're going to take your chances. So we just have to be vocal and educate. That's why I wrote the Oily Pet book. So you can easily hand it to somebody and say, here, read. All right? Because people don't know what they don't know. So with cats, absolutely. There is not an oil in Young Living that I am nervous about. Now, am I going to diffuse Mountain Savory? No. Am I going to topically apply sage? No. But tea tree is in the Animal Sense ointment. And tea tree is the #1 oil that people say will kill a cat. Well, it's in the Animal Sense ointment, and that product's been around for over 25 years. I actually asked Gary Young how he responds to people when they're nervous about tea tree. And he said, Allie, if the Animal Sense ointment was killing animals, I would hear about it. You can guarantee that the competitors would let me know. Okay? That's the difference. It's all in the seed to seal process. All right, let's go to question number 3 that I get. What oils do I use when my pet is sick? Okay, here's the thing. We talk about oils to promote health and to maintain health. We cannot talk about essential oils to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Not even a veterinarian can do that. So get a book that talks about oils specific to Young Living or how we use them in relation to Young Living, and educate yourself, because in the privacy of your own home, you can do whatever you want. I have done more testing of oils on my cats than I probably should admit to. The things that I have tested on them, like the raindrop, I'm like, come here, Dobby. I need to test something on you. So here's the thing. Do your education. When people reach out to me asking, what oil do I use for XYZ disease? I just write them back and say, I can't tell you that. I can't. I'm not going to lose my account with Young Living, and I'm not going to have Young Living be part of an FDA investigation because I answered that. So don't ask that question of anybody, but do your own research. Okay, there's books out there. I know that the essential oil desk reference for animals, that's out of print. You may still be able to find it. I've got the Oily Pet book. Dr. Susan Albright has her Animal Sense University. There are oily vets out there. Dr. Barbara Fox, Dr. Nancy Brandt, Dr. Hartman, who's in Oregon? She's in Oregon. Dr. Jody Grunstern, who is in Arizona. There's oily vets out there. Find them on Facebook. Okay. You'll get an idea, even though they can't use oils to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. You'll get an idea of what to do, but just educate yourself and you'll be able to figure out what to do. All right. You'll be able to figure out what to do. And if you don't have the animal desk reference, just have the normal one that is now out of print. Still gives you an idea. Once you know what an oil does, you'll know how to use it. So, I mean, the big thing when people come to me with an issue is you always first have to start with diet, okay? And then household toxins, and then the quality of life. Is there stress in the home? I do all of that before oils. Okay, if the cat or dog is eating a diet that's not natural for their breed, start there. If you have toxic cleaners, you got to start there. If there's a lot of stress in the home, you got to start there. Then we can bring in the oils, because the oils can only do so much if poor quality food is being given. The oils can only do so much if you're burning candles or have plug-ins. All right. So look to how you use the oils. It'll give you an idea how to use them with animals. All right. All right. Fourth question I get: what oils are safe to use with pets? Okay. It's the brand. It's not the single oil. Okay. I always recommend start slow, be gentle. Do not put 8 drops. Somebody told me last week that they put 20 drops in their diffuser. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how have you not fumigated your entire family? That's a lot. For the diffuser she was using, 3 to 4 drops. I said, okay, you got to tone that down. That's too much of a good thing. And plus you're wasting your oils. So be gentle, go slow. But when you're dealing with high phenols, the oils that are really strong in scent, you can use them. Just be gentle. If you're diffusing them, I diffuse thieves all the time. It's got clove and cinnamon in it and citrus oils. I diffuse it all the time. All right. So just be gentle. If you're doing a topical, I'm going to talk about in the next slide how to do a dilution, but you can use them. You know, I would really encourage you to go to the Young Living website, look at the animal scents, oils, and products. You're going to see quite a few of these high phenol oils in those products. So that tells me right there, they can be used safely. Now, like I said, am I going to diffuse or topically apply Mountain Savory? No. If there is a reason why I want to use Mountain Savory, I can probably find a softer, gentler oil than Mountain Savory. And that's the thing. You just have to do some research. All right, do some research, but you can use these. I mean, I've even heard some Young Living people say, don't use citrus oils with pets. Really? I'm diffusing citrus all the time, and my cat's drinking Charette, which is full of citrus oils, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So I just got a question. I'm not going to name, because this is being recorded, so I'll probably talk about this when I stop the recording, but claims from a wax warmer that they are safe to use and lead-free. I'd ask them for data on how they're safe, because the scents that they are using are synthetic. They're synthetic. So I would just come back at them and ask them, explain. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. Okay. So I'm not going to say the name of the company, but thank you for that question. All right, last question that I get, and then I'm going to go through some examples with you, is, well, how do I use oils with my pet? Can I use them like how I use them? Yep, if they're Young Living, you can. Absolutely. You can diffuse and use them aromatically. Like I've said, if the scent is strong for you, it's really going to be strong for a pet because they have a heightened sense of smell because they have more scent receptors than we do. So, you know, make sure that you're diffusing in an open room where they can leave and go to another part of your home. You can diffuse in the car. I do that when I'm transporting my cats to the vet. They can inhale directly from the bottle. I'm going to show you a video of that because that's how I get their consent. That's how they tell me what oil they want. Let's talk about oils on surfaces, topical and internal. So surface application, you can put a drop of oil on a carrier door, you know, or a crate. If you're crating your dog while you're gone or doing a transport, you can just put a drop right on the carrier door. You can put a drop on a blanket, on a cloth toy. You can put a drop right on your air vent. If you don't have a car diffuser, you don't need one. Literally, you can put it right on the vent in your car, or just take a cotton ball, put a drop on it, stick it in there. It doesn't have to be fancy. Here's my recommendation. Do not put oils on collars. I scream in my brain when I hear that people are putting oils on collars. And do you want to know why I object to that? They can't get away. The eyes, yep, absolutely. It's too close. Oils are never near the face. I don't put oils here on the chest because it's going to come right up into the eyes and the nasal passage. I don't put oils on the face. I even avoid oils on the ears. Okay. Never on the collar because they can't get away. If they don't like it, they cannot get away. It's like, okay, I'm just going to be blunt. It's like hanging a toilet seat around your neck and chaining it on. You can't get away from it. I don't want that. I don't think you want that either. So never, ever on the collar. Just don't do it. It's not needed. It's not needed, okay? All right, topical application. For cats and small dogs under 25 pounds, I use about 8 to 9 drops of an organic, first press, cold pressed carrier oil. Carrier oils can be as adulterated as essential oils. So make sure it's organic, first pressed, cold pressed. And it doesn't matter if it's coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. It's the purity of it that is important. So 8 to 9 drops of a carrier oil to 1 drop of your Young Living essential oil. Or you can just put 1 drop of the essential oil in your hand, rub your hands together so you're absorbing most of it, and then pet down the spine. Down the spine is my number 1 and pretty much my only way of topically applying. Okay, now for dogs that are over 25 pounds, you can do 1 drop right on their spine and rub it in. Now, does it have to get on the skin? Nope. It can touch the hair follicles because the hair follicles absorb the oil and then it goes right into the body like a wick. It goes right into the body. So you do not, you know, like those flea and tick treatments where you got to separate the fur and get it on the skin. No, you don't have to do that. Sometimes with my cats, I literally have oil rubbed into my hands. They're running around and it's like, it's like, okay, I got it on their fur. It'll go in. It'll go in. Like I said, avoid the face. I recommend avoiding the paws. Okay. The paws are where animals detox. If you put in oil, it's pushing back in. They need to detox out through their paws. So it's not necessary to put oils on the paws. And here's the thing. Here's where we need to think differently about oils in animals versus us. On us, If you have a stomach ache, you put it on your stomach, right? If you've got a sore shoulder, you put the oil on your shoulder. Even with us, 1 drop of an oil on our body saturates our cells 40,000 times over. It doesn't matter where you put it. The oil is going to travel to where the problem is. With animals, we do not have to hit the area that needs the oil. Just get it down the spine. It'll go to that area. Down the spine is perfect. I start halfway down the spine and go to the tail. They are less likely to lick it because they can't reach it. If they do lick it, it's okay. It's safe. But I want it to go in. Okay, so halfway down the spine to the tail is 99.99999% of how I topically apply. Not in the ears, not near the eyes, not near the nose, not near the face, not on the paws, not on collars. Keep it simple. That's the thing. Sometimes we like to overcomplicate things just down the spine. It is that simple, okay? All right, ingesting oils. Yes, they can ingest oils. Oils should never go in a water bowl because the oil is literally going to sit as a glob on the top of the water. It doesn't mix, and it could deter them. And we never want to deter an animal from drinking water. So how do you get the oils internally? You can rub the oil on the gum, and this is the only time that I would recommend anywhere near the face, but you're rubbing it on the gum. You're not on the outside of the gums. It's inside. You're rubbing it on the gum. And that can be very helpful, especially if there is some stomach upset. That is a very, very fast way to really help. Again, I don't do that a lot, but you can. That is a way that they are technically ingesting it. You can put oils in a capsule. And if you can pill your pet, well, first of all, congratulations, because I can't. I don't even try. We're not even going to go there in this household. But if you can pill your pet, just put some carrier oil in an empty veggie capsule, put a couple of drops of the oil, and if they'll take it, awesome. What I like to use, and this is what my cats get about 3 to 5 times a week, they get Ningxia Red in their food. Now, it's wet food. I put water in the wet food. I put the Ningxia Red in the water, and then I mix it all together. I've never had a problem. They have been getting Ningxia Red in their food for about 9.5 years. And their liver values are amazing. Okay. So the reason that we drink Ningxia Red is also the beneficial reason for animals to drink Ningxia Red. Now, I always get asked how much. It depends. It depends on the animal. Are you maintaining health? Are you working on resolving a problem? Is it a small cat or small dog? Is it a horse? It depends. You've got to trust your judgment. How much do you drink? How much do you weigh? Now compact it down to your animal. My cat Rudy, who had a blockage and major bladder surgery 5 years ago, gets about a half a dropper in Ningxia Red 3 to 5 times a week. Whereas my other 2 cats maybe get like 5 or 6 drops. So again, it depends. We don't use these like a prescription. So you have to trust your judgment, but start small, start with a low amount and work your way up. Okay. Work your way up. And if you're nervous about doing this, especially with cats, get their liver values tested. Then give this a try, and 6 months later, test their liver values again. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at what happens. All right. All right, let's talk about getting consent. All right, I'm going to show a video here. This is my cat Jacob, who's now an angel. But I had him for 5 beautiful years. He was late in life when I got him, but oh, what a sweetie. All right. Hold on. It's spinning. It's trying to think. It's trying to play. There we go. I want you to watch his face, his eyes, and his nose. See him come to it? It's strong, but he liked it. That's what I look for. Go halfway, have them come the other half of the way. That's consent. Okay, that's Helichrysum. Watch his eyes, watch his nose. So I'm about a foot away. It's kind of hard to tell that depth. It's too strong. You see his eyes? It's too strong. And he did not come to it. He's just looking at me like, get that oil away from me. He did not want it. Okay, here's Melissa. See his eyes? It's too strong. When they start squinting like that, it's too strong. He did not come to it. I also look to whether the animal gets up and walks away. If they get up and walk away, that's it. You're done. Do not chase them around the house, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. It would be like, okay, so we all have an oil that we don't like the smell of. Okay, type in the chat. I want to know what yours is. Mine is ImmuPower. Oh my gosh, I know I need that oil, but it smells like a sweaty camel's underarm. And yes, I do know what that smells like. If somebody were to chase me around my house with ImmuPower and force it on me, I probably would die a slow death. So I'm seeing in the chat, Vetiver, Rue. Yeah, I mean, we all have an oil that we don't like. Animals will tell you if they don't like an oil, okay? So Digize, yeah. Yeah, don't chase them. If they walk away, let them. You can get them to smell a different oil. All right. I usually don't do more than 3 oils at once because then they're kind of saturated. So, okay, let me show you another video. So this one I just put on social media. I think it was yesterday. All right, let me get this one to play. Okay, that's Copaiba, and that's Eucalyptus radiata. Copaiba virtually has no smell to it. Rudy didn't come to it. Eucalyptus is very strong. Look at Rudy. He came to it. So he wanted eucalyptus. It's a good breathing oil. We're in winter. Okay, so I put that, just 1 drop of that in a diffuser, and even added a drop of peppermint, and I diffused that all day yesterday. And he stayed in the room where it was at. He told me what he wanted. He didn't want Copaiba. So give them an option. And like I said, I hold the oil anywhere from 12 to 18 inches away from them. They can already smell it. If they come to it, they're telling you, they're picking. Okay, so just pay attention to that. All right, here are some of my pet favorite essential oils that I have used over and over and over again with many different animals. And you're all going to get a recording of this, so please you don't have to take a screenshot. Okay, you're going to get the recording of this. But you know, some of my favorites, you know, for calming the energy around, you know, I get people who contact me all the time and say, you know, my dog is really jittery and nervous. It seems like all dogs are, but there's 2 different pathways. You know, are they nervous because they are like, they don't have confidence? They're a small dog and they're going to bark and growl at the big dog, like, I'm going to get you before you get me. I may be a 5-pound Yorkie, but I'm going to get you, St. Bernard. I'm going to get you. Okay, that dog just needs confidence, because the St. Bernard's probably looking at the Yorkie like, I don't even see you. You're so small. I don't even know you're there. So the Yorkie just needs confidence. That's valor. Whereas other dogs get nervous and jittery because they know 4 blocks down the road, the UPS man just pulled in. They can feel it. They know. They start going ballistic at the door and they're barking and they're scratching. Or if people come into your house, they're like all jumpy. It's because they're reactive to other people's energy. That's peace and calming. The peace and calming cuts the edge of the energy. Melissa does the same thing. And so that's why when people ask me about that, I ask them those 2 questions. Do you have small dog syndrome and need confidence? Or is your dog reacting to the energy of other people? 2 different oils. Okay. So when it comes to calming, think of it like that. Put yourself in the mind of your pet and ask, what do they need? Okay. You know, I love Melissa for highly sensitive pets, you know, that are highly reactive or they just kind of shut down emotionally. For good relations, I love Harmony. I love acceptance. I use acceptance whenever I bring a new pet home. It's like, you need to accept that there's a new pet here, or you need to accept that you're in a new home. It really does work. I love Inner Child for senior pets that may start feeling a little lethargic. They're slowing down. This helps boost their energy. Frankincense is amazing for grief. So, you know, there's how we use the oils can work similarly for pets. I see in the chat, your sister's cat loves joy. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how we can use these for so many different things. So many different things. You know, I love working with senior pets. When I go into shelters, that's who I'm going to because they're struggling the most. And, you know, I use oils like Valor because they know they're in a shelter. They know they're going to be the most overlooked. I want them to have courage. I want them to smell acceptance so that they can literally be their best self and not be their scared self in the shelter. I want them to be their true personality so they can find a home. That's how I like to use the oils in shelters. So again, you can diffuse these, less is more. You can topically apply. Remember, with cats and small dogs, you're going to use a carrier oil or just 1 drop rubbed very well into your hands, and then you can massage down the spine. Oh, and purification in baking soda in your litter box is going to change your life. I'm just saying. It's going to change your life. All right, this is a really good blend. It's intense. Like, you're going to blend it in a roller bottle, and then you can topically apply it, or you can then put it in a diffuser. But it's good for really, really, really stressed out situations like 4th of July. You know, those things that go boom in the sky, thunderstorms, when there's just a lot of chaos in the house and you need extra, extra, extra calming. Okay. Anything that has vetiver and valerian in it, you're pretty much going to pass out. So this is a good blend. This is a really, really good blend. All right. Other products that I love the seedlings line, you know, the baby line with Young Living. You know, the baby oil is very calming to massage. You can use the baby wash and shampoo to shampoo, you know, your dog. You can use the wipes on their paws or on little, you know, kitten and puppy bottoms that get really messy. You can use the diaper cream if they have, sensitive, sensitive bottoms. Sometimes, kittens and puppies, until they grow up, they can be very sensitive on their back end. You can use the diaper rash. And then I love the Feelings Kit for animals that have really experienced a lot of emotional ups and downs. I mentioned that 5 years ago, Rudy had a blockage, had to have bladder surgery, and it was simultaneous when my 20-year-old cat, Lucy, was passing away. We were both traumatized. That Feelings Kit is phenomenal. Rudy, just like me, we smelled all 6 oils, and it really brought Rudy back. He was kind of a shell of a cat when he came back from surgery, and then Lucy died. And he's like, what the heck just happened to my life? So that Feelings Kit is really amazing to use. All right, I'm going to show you some videos and just some cases that I've worked on. This is a shelter cat. I don't know if you can hear him. Hold on a second. I don't think I hit the audio. Hold on, I got to share sound because this is worth hearing. So hold on, back up the train. Back up the train. You got to hear this. Okay? That's Valor. You want to smell? You've been very agitated. You've been very agitated. Well, that seems to be working better than the peace and calming. Mm-hmm. You're okay. So that cat was very agitated and he was attacking. It was a free roaming cat shelter and he was going after the other cats. And what I later learned was that there was one cat who bullied him. So he wasn't reactive to the energy there. So that's why peace and calming didn't work. He needed Valor because that one cat was picking on him. And then he started picking on all the other cats. So he needed the confidence that he was going to be fine. And you saw it calmed him down. From that first video to the second was about 30 seconds. That's how fast it worked on him. And I just waved the bottle in front of him and set it about 2 feet away. He could smell it. I mean, that's how powerful this works with animals. So this was a dog who flew, oh gosh, I don't even remember what year this was, but it was when, I think it was Hurricane Dorian, basically destroyed the Bahamas. I want to say 2018 or 2019. The Humane Society of Greater Bahamas evacuated their shelter and they flew all the animals here to what they call the mainland. And 130 dogs came up here to Michigan, 10 of which came to my local Humane Society here in Lansing, Michigan. We called this dog Bahama Bessie. So Bessie arrived totally traumatized. They all flew cargo. So she was in a shelter, then got put in cargo, had a very long double plane ride, plus a 90-minute drive from the Detroit airport to Lansing. She was shaking. She was trembling for 4 days. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't keep any food down, and they thought they were going to lose her. So they called me in. I mean, she just clung to me. When I first met her, she had such fear in her eyes. She didn't know what was going on. And so I was covered in Valor. So when she was clinging to me, she was already smelling the Valor. I was able to get Valor down her back. I was able to get Digise on her stomach and at the base of her tail because she wasn't keeping anything down. And after about 15, 20 minutes, she completely passed out. She slept so hard, the behaviorist thought she was dead. She's like, oh my gosh, we killed her. And I'm like, no, she hasn't slept in 4 days. She's going to have a hard sleep for about 24 hours. So I'm like, keep her here in the behavior room, just monitor her, but don't move her. Let her sleep here. We were diffusing the Valor, and they kept putting Digise on her. The next day she woke up, she was fine. She ate, she wasn't trembling. So the oil saved her, and she got adopted a couple days later. But she did not have a good outcome if it wasn't for this intervention. So that's why I love doing this work. All right, here's another video.
This is Dino. He's 12 years old and he's very scared. So I'm going to take a little bit of Valor. I'm just going to put a little bit on his blanket. Oh, I can smell it. Honey. Oh, his nose is moving. He can smell it. Hi, Dino. Look at his nose go. Honey, you're okay. You're okay.
So the licking of the lips is they've really processed the oils. It's actually an energy release sign that they give. So that's actually my cat Dobby when he was at the shelter 4 years ago. So he was there when he was 12 years old. This is when I brought Dobby home. I renamed him Dobby. And this is when he meets Rudy, because I had been diffusing oils for about a week so that they would all accept each other, because that first introduction, you got one opportunity for a good first impression.
All right, let's get this back up. Oh, they're doing really good. Here, Rudy, Dobby. Dobby, where are you? Come here. Treats bring everybody together. Especially essential oil cat treats. Oh, they kissed and I missed it. Here. All right, we're doing good. Mwah.
But I had been diffusing tea away in Dobby's room as well as in my house before Rudy even met Dobby. So it was a very smooth transition. Donkeys even love oils.
So this is Happy.
He is the largest donkey I have ever seen, and he is full of personality, aren't you? What do you think about the oils? You are awesome. What do you think? He's like, bring me another. Look at No, you're not gonna. Honey, I know you want to eat it. Why don't you just smell? Happy's like, that's my oil. Look at no. So it's a rescue nearby, and they have anywhere from 70 to 90 rescue donkeys at a time. So I love to go out there with the oils just to help them accept the situation that they're in while they're waiting for a new home, because a lot of them come from pretty bad situations. So they were smelling the acceptance oil. All right. If you are sensitive, I'm giving you a warning. The next slides are of a cat who was a burn victim. She healed up. Okay, I want you to know that. She healed up. She's in a loving home with a friend of mine. I still have visitation with her. She literally went to her new home 2 years ago, a couple days ago. So anyway, this is Marnie. This was not intentional abuse as far as we could tell. It appears that Marnie got into a car engine and got burned. So it was bad. It was bad. The shelter called me, asked me if I would foster her. And in addition to a lot of traditional veterinary care, including every week for 3 months, she had to go in and be anesthetized, and they would have to clean her wounds, take the scabs off. They had to, put incisions in because the skin was stretching her eye. They had to do a lot of veterinary work. I was doing a lot of oils, a lot of crystals, a lot of energy healing. I was doing a lot on her. So that's what she looked like. Here is a video of one of her treatments. So I had her in foster care for 3 months. This was day 9 of her treatment. I have diluted myrrh and helichrysum in almond oil, which is very nourishing for the skin. And I'm just dripping it down her spine. Yep, I know. Don't bump me with your head. Oh, don't do that, honey. You're going to rub everything off. And you're probably wondering why I did myrrh and helichrysum. And compliantly, I'm not allowed to say. You can just look it up. But think of, no, don't do that. Think of what she's dealing with. It'll give you an idea of why I'm using that. No, don't do that. Seriously, all I do is say no to her. Because she just wants to rub her head. I'm sure it itches. Honey. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. I know you want so much love. Yep, don't bonk me with your head. But you look so much better. I am also using the Lavaderm spray because it's specific for burns. And I'm doing very small amounts. Very small. And not really on the... No, don't do that. Don't lay it. Sit. I'm kind of picking certain areas and testing them out. She's probably going to lose the tips of both of her ears. So I'm just doing one little small area as a test. And after being in foster care for a week and going back to the shelter for her treatment where they take the scabs off and stuff like that,
they are amazed at how well she's healing. So this is a combination of veterinary medicine and essential oils.
And on the left is what she looked like on her adoption day. And on the right is a photo of her from a couple of months ago at Christmas. And you can see she healed up beautifully, just beautifully. She did lose the tips of her ears, but her ears are so cute. So she totally healed. She healed beautifully. So that's the power of our oils and what they can do. All right, what do my cats get weekly? I get this question. They get Ningxia Red in their wet food 3 to 5 times a week. I have a roller bottle of frankincense and copaiba. I have one of frankincense and helichrysum that I just put a little in my hand and I put it down their spine topically a few times a week. Stella, because she could do to lose a little weight. I'm trying to take the pressure off of the joints in her legs. I take 1 capsule of Agiles and I just do a little sprinkle on her food once a day. Takes us about a week to go through 1 capsule. Dobby, because he's 16, I'm worried about his kidneys. K and B tastes horrible. So I literally topically apply it over his kidneys. I just do a couple of drops once a day and massage it topically over his kidneys. And then I'm constantly diffusing, constantly. So they're taking that in. So if you want to get the Oily Pet book, use coupon code ZOOM for a discount. If you are a silver or above and you want a private class for your team, just reach out. I'm happy to do that on either the Oily Pet or the Oily Crystal. And if you're not in Young Living, whoever invited you to this, get with them so that you can get started, or get with me and I'll help you get started. So whoever brought you to this presentation, get with them because you can use these safely. You absolutely can. So, all right, I went a little over. I try to end in an hour, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. So for those watching the recording, thank you very much. And I hope it was helpful.